In our generation, I think the whole dating pool has been limited to just few things. It has been limited to just fun and games and all that. So the seriousness has been taken from it. I was having a conversation with a friend sometime back, and we're talking, and she just asked me randomly, "What's your genotype?" And I said, I just joked about it. I said, "What's the issue?" She was like, "I should let her know, you know, because it's something that it's vital to her, given that she is AS. So it's something that is important." Now she has that idea, but an average person in the dating pool doesn't have this. Like you make mention of just shawarma and all that. So it has been limited to that. So we need to redirect our focus from trivial things to more serious things. Questions like where are you from? It can tell you a lot about someone's background or so much about them if you know their name. Back in the day, it was a very serious thing where you say, "I have found someone," that will now ask you, "Where is he from? Who are his parents?" They would want to know your history. Is there madness in the family? Is there anger issues like you made mention of? So these are very important questions that it doesn't exist these days. What do we care about these days? It's basically money. Why? Because the society has deteriorated so bad. So it's more of a survival thing. So if we see a man, for instance, a lady sees a guy who looks good and is doing well, that's okay for her. And maybe those are some things that can make some women feel they would risk it, because this is like, should I say, poverty alleviation, so to say. Or the man is, everybody may have their own reasons for doing what they want to do, but we should reinforce it that these are very important questions. And maybe that's why family is deteriorating in society, because those key things to look out for are being overlooked and trivial things are becoming the order of the day. So we need to redirect our focus, redirect our thinking patterns to the things that actually matter, and that will help and reduce some of these issues that we face today. I am coming from a layman's perspective, but I feel if properly done, it can be managed. But again, I tend to feel that is not all that it entails, because the people that I'm talking about are people that come from wealth. You know, they lived, their lives were very, pathetic. This week they're in school, this week they're out of school, treatment here, this, that. So there are so many issues. So the parents did all they thought they could do to help these children, but it didn't prove fruitful. But that was back in the day. Maybe now there are new methods that would help. I wouldn't know. So I would just say it's a game of chance. Some people may find it easy, some may not. And it gets to a point where these patients feel what's more to live for, and they just give up generally, and they begin to live lives just anyhow because they have been through a lot. Personally, some that I've come across, I feel so bad for them, and I felt they just want to give up, because society doesn't really know how to, or should I say medicine doesn't know how to help them in those situations. First of all, I think we need more professionals. In our society, we have people who just find jobs that can pay, and not those that really have passion for it. Because how can I see someone who is obviously a sickle cell patient, but because the person is not shouting, I will feel this person doesn't need attention, or because the person is shouting, I will feel this person needs attention. People are different, personality differs. Even the sickness has its toll on people, and it brings out different responses. So if you don't have a professional who is passionate about the job, who would go the extra mile to know this, I think that's where we first get it wrong, because some of these people that are in these spaces get so exhausted with the patients, because the patients can get so needy. I've seen it firsthand. They get so needy, and it can be frustrating to one who has no patience. So if you have such personnel who don't have patience, I think it's already a flaw, and that would jeopardize the whole procedure. So first things first, I think we need to have people who have passion for this job, who want to really see that these patients get healing that they deserve. You see, there's very little you can say to help them. Why am I saying that? Because they are the ones in that situation. I am not in the situation. So everything I say to them, it will seem like I'm coming from a privileged position. I don't know how it feels. Truthfully, I don't know how it feels. But however one can encourage, like, I'm really moved by what you do actually. It's not by what you say, it's the show of love that you give these people. You go out of your way to provide care. The littlest things really matter to show that this person cares for me. So it's not so much what you say, it's how you treat them. If you treat them like second class citizens, I think that is what dampens them more. So if we can treat them as though they are humans that they are, it will go a long way to strengthen them. So it's more of practical than, just speaking. Speaking about biology, I think most of what we do is theory, theory, theory. And if I can remember back in secondary school, it was just a little section that spoke about sickle cell. And these are things that are practical, these are things we see. So more emphasis needs to be, put on those aspects so people would understand. Now, using probability, 25% chance, those are not absolute. Like I said, science is not absolute. You need to see or measure this and measure that. So it's not absolute. What I think can be done is include more of these practical aspects to the educational system to help people right from childhood, not when they are grown. Because in my own experience, I had to get to a certain level to understand certain things. So if they have this knowledge right from childhood, they would know that this whole pairing is detrimental. That can be the first lesson. So they wouldn't even need to make probability and all that. So more emphasis, more of this sickle cell in textbooks would help to more sensitization, programs, so many things. These are real life issues that we're facing. So it's not to be left to chance that maybe they'll come across one day. No, we need to be intentional. Put this in books, teach children from little age. I think that can be a starting point. It was quite late in my lifetime that I discovered my genotype. It wasn't something that really mattered to me. Well, maybe for the fact that I knew my parents were both AA. But then I knew that back in the day, there were mistakes that were being made. So when the discussion got heated at some point in my life, I decided to go and check, because I needed to know. I'm getting to that point that I would want to settle down, so I should know for myself. So I think the trigger was maybe from seeing those people I spoke about, seeing how they suffered and all that. I decided to check for myself to know where I stand. My name is Aaron Ali. I work with a Christian non-governmental organization in Plateau State, Stephanos Foundation, and we don't actively work with people with sickle cell, but we have affiliations with them. What I would say out there is nobody deserves to be discriminated against. Like I said, this wasn't their choice. I mean, if we could all choose, nobody would want to be sickle cell. So if at all we come across someone who is going through this, the least we could do is show compassion, because you don't know what they go through. In and out of hospital, having cannulas in your hands, it's not easy. Sleepless nights here and there. So a little compassion, a little smile to start with can help. So we shouldn't discriminate against anybody. Instead, we should show them love. I think that could also boost their strength, because some people give up when they see that the society stigmatizes them, pushes them to one corner. They get in their cave, and then it further deteriorates their health status, their mental health and all that. So we should be very, very intentional about treating these people right. Not just them, every person we meet. I think that would help the discrimination and maybe improve their quality of life if we come across one.